Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. And welcome to the Trans Nation Esports Tier 1 no assist coverage here from the Chinese Grand Prix. I am Stuart here today with Mike. Mike, how is it going?
It's going, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of make sure that you're spectating there, Mike.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we don't need you to be racing around this track. We've already done enough racing around this track here for us today. So, of course, we did race in the assist categories that wrapped up maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes ago. But we welcome everybody in here for us this afternoon as we go racing in China here. So Mike, as I mentioned, we just finished up a race around this track. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this Chinese Grand Prix circuit?
I mean, I've always liked this track. I mean, it's only a couple of corners that you have to get right, and it's hard to get right. Is going through the snail section and going around that curve going around to the back straight. But if you can master those, man, you can do a pretty good lap here.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a weird track to balance in that you have such a long straightaway in sector 3, and you have to balance that with a very, I guess, technical, you could call it, sector 2, and then even sector 1 is pretty technical as well. But if you put too much downforce on the car, then you lose so much in sector 3, and that's always going to be a struggle that these drivers have to balance today.
Yeah. I also had a lot of oversteer in my race, so that didn't help out at all either.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to help out with that. Okay, so taking a look at things here, we have 12 drivers in their field today. Not necessarily exactly where we want to have it, but it is better than nothing. For this Chinese race, or the Chinese Grand Prix, I guess it's not a track that's particularly liked by the drivers, which maybe is why if a driver was questioning whether they might be able to make it, they might have made their decision easier. But of course, hopefully we'll be able to get back to full fields before too long here, as next week we're actually in the Netherlands. Definitely looking forward to that race.
Yeah, I am too.
Um, so just getting
Mackenzie's
everything
out
up.
first.
Yeah, Mackenzie is out around first.
Yeah, he kind of bullied his way up to get his flying lap started first.
Got a bit aggressive on the outlap, did he?
Yeah.
Actually, there's a couple drivers in front of him, though, isn't there? Is that a Williams in front of him, I believe? Is that Andrew? Andrew might be the first one to actually start his outlap. He is, as he does come around to start his flying lap. Interestingly enough, only one driver opting to do a run on the mediums here. That is Sam Rocco, Mr. Sanders 100. Be interesting to see here if he's able to break into the top 10 with that. That would be certainly a bit of an advantage, as Andrew had a big tank slapper there coming out of turn 4, and that's going to hurt his run down the short straightaway, turn 5 and into turn 6. So we'll keep it here with Andrew right now as we just kind of get things up and running here. We had a bit of a technical issue, which is why we're on Twitch for this running here. Hopefully be able to get that sorted out for next week's running when we do go to the Netherlands.
That's weird because on my screen it didn't say anything for Andrew being out.
Oh, really? There are still some glitches in this game. That is for certain.
Yeah.
It seems like it might be a little bit before everything is completely fixed. But one of the things that we were actually briefly talking about before we got going here is one of the options that drivers now have is when they're making a pit stop. They have an option. It shows now when you're selecting your tires when you're running in the race. It says whether it's a new set or if it's a used set. So that is certainly handy to see if you might be doing a strategy change mid-race.
Yeah. Yeah, the small touches, man, like we talked about earlier, man, is what makes, this game, somewhat better.
Yes,
We still have a long way to go.
yeah, they do, and hopefully as the season progresses here, we're going to get more and more welcomed changes and bug fixes. But there have been a couple so far that they've done that seem to hopefully help the enjoyment for everybody, and we'll see if that continues as the game wears on. On board right now with Josh Banks, he's currently yet to set a flying lap. Currently in P10, see what he is able to do here. As he comes around the 16th and final corner down the front straightaway, and he jumps up to P2. He is just off of Andrew's time. Currently, the pole time is a 1:29.694, so a nice time there for Josh Banks, who sets, of course, the 1:29.759. Drivers who have yet to make a run on our run so far in this qualifying session, we have Aaron, we have Daniel Hernandez, and we have Faith as well. They have yet to set time, so I believe all of them. Daniel has yet to leave the pits, so I imagine that we're going to see him. Oh, never mind. He has just left the pit lane, so. Speak of the devil, I think he is actually the second driver to come out on the mediums too. That's an interesting strategy take. I think that could be a bit of an advantage if they're able to, if these guys are able to qualify in the top 10 on those mediums. Don't you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's only 12 drivers, so I mean, it's if you can. I mean, it's pretty much all how you can play it by ear. I mean, if Joker, gets up to the top 10 and Mr. Sanders drops down, then, it might work out a lot better for him since we only have 12 drivers instead of a full grid.
Yeah, it certainly could. In terms of strategy advantage, I wonder what you'd really be able to do with it. You're probably still going to be swapping onto the hards. So you will get a bit of a time advantage as the softs start to wear down and the mediums then are in their prime, and you will have slightly fresher hards at the end of the race. But
That's true.
Will it provide a tremendous advantage? Probably not. But what it would do is it might provide some more flexibility to you later in the race.
Yeah.
We'll see if that even plays out here. I imagine that they're going to be as we see Sam Rocco, Mr. Sanders, he has already swapped over to the soft compound tire as he's in the pits now. But yeah, so I feel like this medium is just going to be for a first run type thing.
Yeah. Did you get a weather report at all from them or no?
No, I haven't seen a weather report yet. Maybe I'll quickly check on Slack here. Unfortunately, with this not being broadcast on YouTube, we might not have quite the viewers that we would have had before. But let's see, no assists here. Yeah, no weather report has been put out there yet, so I think it's probably, I mean, if there's nothing that's been said, no complaining, then I think it's probably safe to say that they're going to be dry in the race, which is good for the drivers. But we'll keep an eye on that. And also, I imagine if they were even coming out to run on the mediums, put in a run on the mediums, I would think it's going to be dry in the race. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Daniel doesn't look to be doing a hot lap on these mediums at all. Aaron in the Racing Point has he has yet to set a lap. Now, with the reduced field that we see here this afternoon, we could see some surprises jump up onto the podium here. We have some guys, of course, we do have Josh and Andrew that are pretty consistently up around the top of this field, and as I'm saying that, I'll bring up the championship standings. But we might see some surprises up near at the front at the end of this race. Should be fun to watch, and we've had some great racing here so far this season, and I fully anticipate that we're going to see that continue as the season drags on here. So just taking a peek at the championship driver standings, it's pretty tight up and down the field here. So starting, Andrew Lee leads us off with 54 points. Josh Banks in second, 9 points back of him with 45. Izat Kush is currently in third in the Alfa Romeo with 41 points. With 39 points, Albert Ramirez Garcia is in fourth. Sam Rocco in fifth with 20 points, so that's where the gap starts to open up a little bit. He is 19 points back of Albert right now. But in P6, we do have Aaron in the Racing Point. He has 15 points. Michael Garone Jr. has 13 points in the Haas. He finds himself P7 in the championship. Quinlan Maitland, who is currently serving I believe it is a 2-race ban for Red Bull. He has 10 points. He is in 8th.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. In 9th, we do have Faith in the Renault with also with 10 points, so he is actually tied for 8th. In 10th is Mackenzie Stewart with 6 points. Andrew is in 11th with 4 points. Tian in 12th with 3 points. Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, in 13th place with 2 points, and also tied for 13th with 2 points is Sam Nasir, Samu Papito, but he is not here today. So there is an opportunity here for lots of these drivers today to jump up and have a good points finish. So we'll see what they're able to do. As I said that, yeah. Michael Garone Jr. did jump up into the top 3. He looks racy here today. He's 2/10 back of Andrew Lee right now, and is 3/100ths of a second back of Albert for P2. So these guys are looking racy.
Yeah.
Josh Banks. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying Aaron is finally starting his hot lap.
Oh, that he is. Let's follow along with Aaron, as I took a look at Josh, but he did invalidate his lap. I think he must have done it pretty late, like maybe around the last corner, because I would have thought he would have stuck it into the pits, but must have invalidated late there. But taking a look at Aaron right now, see what he can do in the Racing Point. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, it is a balance here at China between finding a car that behaves well in the technical sections and a car that is fast down the long straightaways. A little bit of a lockup there going into turn 11.
This is another corner you have to get perfect right here.
Yeah, that 12-13 combo is that's what sets up a strong run down the straightaway. And if you can't get into the throttle right away, then it's really going to cost you down the straightaway, and that can be that can really hurt you around here a lot. So, of course, one of the best passing opportunities being that run down into turn 14.
Yeah.
Aaron invalidates in the last corner. Yeah, that's a rough go of it for him. He put up a 129.709. That would have been good enough for P5. So Aaron does have some pace, and if he's quick, he should be able to get another run in quickly back into the pits. As the only other driver out on a hot lap right now is Faith. And he has invalidated, so that's... Actually, we do have Hullabaloo out on track right now. That is, of course, Jonathan in the AlphaTauri. He is currently the slowest driver that has set a time, and he's running right around what he ran on his first run.
Joker hops up to 6th at a 129.
So he does. So a nice lap there for Daniel Hernandez.
Oh, he's Hullabaloo's all over the track.
Yes, he is, but he's running a little bit faster than he did on his previous run here. See if he can have a good Sector 3 and maybe jump up a spot or two on the leaderboard, but definitely looking for some more time out of this car. And again, our top 9 drivers are separated by 9/10ths of a second. So definitely a very bunched up field, and should lead to some very good racing here. As Hullabaloo and Jonathan is able to leapfrog his teammate, he jumps into 10th position at a 130.654.
I wonder if Aaron's going to come back out, or he's going to stay in.
Interestingly enough, the McLarens are nose to tail out on track right now. So I think that they're it looks like right now that Josh is going to be giving Mackenzie the tow.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that. I didn't happen to watch their first qualifying run to see if Mackenzie gave Josh the tow there, but doesn't look like that. I don't know if that was the case.
No, Mackenzie just passed him.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it's going to be Mackenzie giving Josh the tow, or, I mean, we'll keep an eye on this. There's not really much else to watch out on track right now. Daniel is coming around. He'll be coming into the pits this lap. I think he's probably done for the session.
Well, Mackenzie's pulling the gap now, so I mean, but Josh still can catch him. I mean, still get a nice toe off the back straight here.
Yeah, Josh is.
No, now he's leaving out, so now that's okay.
Yeah. So taking a look at this is not Andrew Lee, but this is Andrew Honda. And he is running around the circuit right now. He did set a purple Sector 1. So he definitely has improved on is improving on his lap time. He is 0.2 of a second up on his previous best, which 0.2 of a second could mean a lot for him around here, as that really does bring him up into the conversation for that P4, P5 area. We'll see what he's able to do on the rest of this lap. Down the long back straightaway here. And into the hard braking zone of turn 14. Gets a good run off the corner, doesn't want to invalidate here in turn 16. He does that cleanly, and he's going to cross the line and jump up to P4, a 129.615. Andrew Lee has improved on his previous best as well. He has set a faster first sector. As has Albert, in the Ferrari. He is up, I believe it was under a 1/10 of a second up he was, but keep an eye on him. He does, actually, let's take a look at the McLarens here. We do have Mackenzie about to cross the start-finish line here. He's going to cross the start-finish line, and he's going to jump up to P7. Meanwhile, Josh Banks goes wide on the last corner and went up to P4. That was interesting. I don't know how he didn't invalidate on that, but
yeah, no.
That was pretty wild.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Albert is not able to take pole. He is stuck at that 129.433 here as qualifying is just about to wrap up. Andrew Lee coming around. He is up on his previous best. He's coming around his final corner here. Crosses the line and goes fastest with a 129.234. Michael Garone Jr. is on a hot lap, or is he? He is not on a hot lap, so he will be P4 unless if...
This went P2.
Yes, Izzet did jump up. Is Faith on a flying lap? I think he might be. Yes, he is. He's coming around the final corner here. Turn 16 down the start-finish line, and he will stay 10th fastest. A 130.081 for him, and that is going to wrap up the session for us today. Unless if actually Aaron. Yes, we do. Sorry, Aaron. He comes out of the final corner down the front straightaway, and he is going to jump up to 6th fastest, a 129.560. So that is going to set our field for today's Chinese Grand Prix, as nobody else is on a hot lap. Just waiting for the drivers to, I guess, retire from the session. As we went through the driver's standings here, but we can run through the constructors' standings quickly as well. As the Tier 1 constructors' standings go like this. Williams finds themselves at the top with 54 points. McLaren in P2 with 51 points. Alfa Romeo is in third with 43 points. 4 points back of them is Ferrari with 39 points. Mercedes hot on the heels of Ferrari with 38 points. And AlphaTauri finds themselves in sixth with 20 points. Racing Point with 18 points in 7th. Haas with 15 points in 8th. Red Bull with 14 points in 9th, and Renault brings up the rear with 10 points in 10th place.
That's interesting. Hullabaloo was on the soft tires for 3 laps.
Interesting. I wonder if he must have taken a lap in the middle, like to cool his tires, maybe, and then tried to go for it again on the second go around, but. Interesting. I guess if you were stuck and you didn't think you were going to be able to, weren't going to have the time to come in and swap out the tires, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to try. The tires really do fall off after that one quick lap, though. Around here, I noticed that. So, Mike, what do you think the preferred strategy is going to be around here today? We see that it looks like it's going to be a clear race, and it looks like all of our top 10 are going to be starting on the softs. Do you see anybody gambling on a 2-stop strategy here, or do you think it's going to be just a standard 1-stop strategy?
I think Andrew is probably going to do a 1-stop, and I think probably about 2 or 3 other people are probably going to do a 1-stop as well, but I think the rest are probably going to end up doing a 2-stop, depending on how the race goes, and what kind of pace they're getting off the tires that.
Yeah, that is a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these guys. I found it is quite difficult to pass around here sometimes in China, especially with these guys. We saw that the top, 9 were all separated by less than a second. So, I mean, when the cars are that close in speed, it's hard to. It's just going to be a DRS train, I think, and you do have to try some special things to try and separate yourself from some of the other guys that you're racing with. So maybe we'll see some some different strategies, but we'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on.
Well, it also who can take care of their tires the best.
Yeah, of course.
I know Andrew Lee is quite good at taking care of his tires.
Yeah, he displayed that. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? He went
the last two races.
Yeah, he's had some pretty incredible stints on those tires. So we'll see what he's able to do today. We'll see what the rest of the field decides to do as we will run you through the starting grid for today's Chinese Grand Prix. Starting P1 is Andrew Lee, of course, in the Williams. P2 is at Cush in the Alfa Romeo. Albert Ramirez Garcia starts P3 in the Ferrari, and Michael Garone Jr. is beside him on row 2 in the Haas. A very nice qualifying effort for Michael. P5 sees Josh Banks in the McLaren, and his joining him on row 3 of the grid is Aaron in the Racing Point. On the 4th row of the grid, starting P7, we have Andrew in the Red Bull, and joining him is Mr. Saunders, Sam Rocco in P8. Starting P9 is Mackenzie Stewart in the McLaren, and rounding out the top 10, we have Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker. In P11 and starting on the medium compound tire is Faith in the Renault. And finally, rounding out our 12-man grid here today is Hullabaloo. That is Jonathan in the other AlphaTauri, also starting on the medium compound tire. So what it's going to mean for those medium runners, their pit window is probably going to be between lap 13 and 17, I believe, is what the game instructed me. And I think so that they will be able to run probably a good 5 laps longer than these soft runners to start. So we'll see if that gives them any bit of an edge here today. And we'll see how those soft runners are able to manage their tires here early on in this race.
Yeah.
So as we see the predicted pit stop strategy come up there on screen, 2 stop, 1 stop, we'll see, as we do have the grid lining up here and we don't have any sound. Hopefully that will come back soon. Oh, there we go. So the lights are going up, just waiting for them to go out. Revs are building, and we are off and racing here today in China. Good start there for Andrew. A great start there for Izzat, though, as Aaron jumps up the inside of 3 wide going into turn 1. Izzat on the inside of Andrew as well for the lead. They're still side by side as they head into turn 4. Looks like Andrew's going to hold off, and Michael is a bit of, he loses a few spots off the line here, down in P6, battling with Josh Banks there as Josh takes that 6th position. A nice start for Josh as he's able to pick up a position. A brilliant start, though, for Sam Rocco, though, in that AlphaTauri. He is up to P5.
Yeah, that was a good start for him.
And nice to see that everybody was able to make it through the first few corners here cleanly, as the train will form up a bit of a gap a little bit further down in 10th, 11th, and 12th as we have a
Mackenzie just got around Michael.
Yeah, he did. So Mackenzie also having a solid start as he's able to pick up a couple of spots. Michael not having the start that I'm sure he envisioned, but it is very early in this race, and I think we'll see him come back as the tires set in a little bit. Battle, though, behind him. LD Joker Daniel Hernandez was looking up the inside of Honda. They make a bit of contact. That was wheel on wheel, though, and they get away with it. But what that does is it drops him into the grasp of Faith, as Faith is now breathing down his rear wing, and Mackenzie is, oh no, this is a glitch again. I was like, Mackenzie took the lead. What an incredible run he must have had, but no. Andrew is still leading this race. Starting to spread out a little bit. The 2 medium runners are having a bit of a battle further back here. This is 4P11. They are the closest cars on track right now, other than the 2 McLaren teammates.
Yeah, I mean, by them being on the medium tires, they're actually still, still keeping up with the group, that's on softs right now.
Yeah, and I mean that's a very good sign if they're able to keep up with them and especially stay in DRS range this early in the race. A very good sign for them. But right now you could cover the whole field with a blanket, I think, as we see a move here as Josh is going to go around Sam Rocco for P5. Josh is now going to set his sights on Albert there for who's currently in 4th place.
Yeah, Andrew's slightly pulling away from Izat.
Yes, he is.
Slightly.
Oh, we have a good battle here between Mackenzie and Sam, as this is a battle for P6. Mackenzie was right up on Sam's rear wing, and I thought he was going to give him a bit of a bump, but they've gotten separated a little bit as Mackenzie goes to the inside here. Oh my goodness, this would be an incredible move if he can pull it off. Mackenzie's going to have a good run off the outside here, coming out of turn 4. Will he be able to make it stick? He's going to have the inside line here going into turn 6, the heavy braking zone, and I think Mackenzie Stewart's going to be able to get this position. As Sam almost lost it. And he's going to fall into the grasp of Michael now, who's going to Michael drifted up the track a little bit, but he is going to take that position easily from Sam. So a little bit of a mistake there from Sam, and Michael jumped on it. That's really all it takes. And but as you said, up at the front, Andrew Lee is he's pulled out to a 2nd gap right now on Izat. So he's out of DRS range. I think at the scoring line he was Izat was out of DRS range. So
yeah, he was.
Definitely not going to help his efforts. But with the field being so bunched together, the DRS trains are definitely going to start to form here. And we'll see how that plays out as this race goes on. With Michael Garone Jr. hanging with Mackenzie right now, and Sam behind him. There's a serious DRS train that is forming up behind Mackenzie. With
yeah, there he is.
pretty much half the field in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still happy for those soft runners, man. I mean, the medium runners are actually still sticking with Faith is still in the back of Joker. So I mean, that's good.
Yeah, and we're gonna start the next couple laps here. I mean, those softs are gonna be rolling into probably that about 30% worn range by now, if not a little bit more with the qualifying laps that they put on them. So I would anticipate that these mediums, if you're Faith, you're gonna have to start to make a couple moves here and start picking some guys off, making sure that you don't lose the advantage that you're gonna have in the latter half of this run on those mediums.
Yeah, the soft runners should go into the pit lane either this lap or the next lap.
Yeah, they should be coming in pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try and run a few laps longer. Again, it really is it's kind of a driver by driver thing. We'll see what their wear levels are like, but the DRS train is alive and well right now.
Yeah, the only one that's pulling away is Andrew.
Yeah, that he is. We might have a battle going on here for P2 before too long, as Aaron is tracking down Izat for that P2, as is Josh Banks closing in on Albert. So we might have some racing here over the next couple laps before pit stops take place.
Yeah, I wonder between Josh and Mackenzie, who's gonna blink first and go into the pit lane.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you're in a position of somebody like Daniel Hernandez or Andrew, I believe it is, here Honda, then. If you're in the position of one of them, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them pop into the pits and maybe try for an undercut here, try and get themselves in front of this DRS train. That might pay big dividends for them as this race runs on, because we're seeing how hard it is to pass here, especially with the DRS train how it is.
Yeah, I mean, with Izad in second and Jesus, I'm having a freaking brain fart. Uh,
Is that?
Door,
oh, Albert. Oh yeah,
thank you.
we see guys coming into the pits now. So quite a few drivers coming into the pits. Andrew is going to be a little bit left out to dry here, as he wasn't able to react to everybody else coming into the pits, obviously. But about half the field coming into the pits here, including our P2 and P3 drivers. So we'll see what some of these guys are able to do.
Oh, a lot of them went to the hards.
Yeah, I guess that's not surprising. It would be very, very difficult to make the mediums last to the end.
Yeah. Well, what they said was they wanted you to do a soft run to 2 medium runs. So I mean, I don't know if that'll be all. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a lot better.
I think if we see anybody attempt a 2-stop strategy, I know I did it in my race. Is you can do a medium, 1 set of mediums and 2 sets of softs.
Right.
Might be the 2-stop strategy that we could see employed here today, but we'll see here. I think Andrew, all of these guys who are on softs are going to have to come into the pits here this lap and react to what the other runners have done. So I imagine we'll see all of them probably slap on the hards, unless if they opt for the mediums for a 2-stop. But
yeah, Andrew's pushing, so yeah, he's coming in this lap.
Yeah, he is. He has no ERS left.
And McKenzie is coming in as well.
Yes, he is. Oh, we see an incident. Oh
yeah,
my goodness. So
I
Mike
think Hondo is trying to go into the pit lane, and then he hit
Michael.
Joker.
Oh, that was Joker. You're right. So that is gonna. I think Daniel picked up wing damage out of that too.
Yeah, they both did.
That's unfortunate for them there.
Yeah, that sucks.
Not gonna help there. But I mean, we bringing it back, it really shows how much it hurt Andrew to stay out there. He finds himself now 1.2 seconds back of Izzat. So Izzat in the provisional race lead. So the undercut working there as Andrew pays the price for staying out the extra lap.
Yeah, the undercut did work. That was a good job by Izzat.
Yeah, well done for him, and then also Albert. Actually, interesting. Aaron is. It didn't really work as well for Aaron, as he finds himself 1.4 seconds back of Andrew. So Andrew didn't lose. He only lost the 1 position on track. Should be interesting to see if he's able to track down Izzat, and if he's able to get that pass done, retake the lead.
So Honda's coming back around now. I mean, he doesn't have any wing damage, so I mean, Joker took the brunt of that.
That's fortunate.
And,
fortunate for him
too.
Yeah, he is. So I wonder if Honda's maybe going to try and do maybe a 2-stop. This could be an option for the 2-stop. Stays out about 8 laps on the soft. Comes out and does about 12 or 13 on the mediums, and then slaps softs on for the end. Or who knows? Maybe he's going to try and make the mediums last to the end. That would be an impressive feat if he could do that.
Yeah, it would be. But I mean, I'm pretty sure his softs are screaming right now.
Yeah. Yeah, those softs are definitely not going to be. He's falling back from Jonathan Hullabaloo quite a pace, so
yeah, 2 medium runners are first and second.
As expected, they've done a good job to maintain some pace there, and they find themselves with some clean air now and some free running. So as Faith finds himself currently in P1 with Jonathan Hullabaloo in P2. Let's see if we have any good battles going on throughout the field. We do have a couple guys that are close to one another. Mackenzie might be able to make a run at Michael here down the long back straightaway. He is going to dive to the inside here going into turn 14, and he's going to get that pass done. So Mackenzie moves back up to P9 as Honda is into the pits. Andrew is into the pits.
Is that in McKenzie are the only two that have a time penalty right now, 3 seconds. So.
Oh, and we have a potential battle for the provisional race lead here as Andrew and Izzat are going side by side through the windy first sector here. Down, I think Andrew's got him now as they break into turn 6.
They're locked up too.
Yeah, you don't want to be locking up too much. It's not going to help your tire wear as the run goes on. But Andrew Lee with a nice move to retake first place. Well, provisional first place, I should say. A little bit further back, there is a battle brewing here between Aaron, Albert, and Josh. This is for provisional P3, but it is currently for P5 on the track. Of course, all of these drivers, except for our top 2, are on the hard compound. So opting for that one-stop strategy. See how this race plays out. Izzat not letting Andrew bolt away, though. He is doing a good job staying on his rear wing.
Yeah, with those two battling, the first, the two medium runners could build a little bit of a gap and kind of help them out towards the long run.
Yeah, that is true. The medium runners, the gap is staying pretty consistent around 10 to 10.5 seconds between Jonathan and Andrew. So I would say you'd probably want to be trying to extend that gap a little bit, push those mediums before you pit. But we'll see how those guys do and see if they're able to keep that gap up. Again, the battle though for current P5 on the track though still rages on. They do find themselves probably in a bit of a DRS train here. That's Aaron, Albert, and Josh. As the field has spread out a little bit here today in China. Of course, in real-life Formula One, there will not be a Chinese Grand Prix this season, as it is believed that the finalized calendar, the additions that we saw this past week to the calendar are finalized. As we see a move here now for P6. That is Mackenzie that was taking, or that was, who was that? That was Albert that made a move on Josh, and Albert's going to take that P6 position.
Yeah, Mackenzie has DRS and Albert does too. So.
Yeah, find themselves in that DRS train.
Yeah.
There are a couple, at least, close battles going on around the track, as Izzat is still within striking distance of Andrew. Andrew hardly has any ERS left right now, so needs to work on managing that a little bit as this race goes on, but it's hard to manage it when you have Izzat behind you, who has 30% ERS, so considerably more than Andrew has.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Turkey coming back on the calendar?
I'm excited for actually all of the circuits that are coming back onto the calendar. Should be nice to, hopefully it'll shake things up a little bit. Turkey and that, what is it? Is it that quadruple apex?
Yeah.
Is it a right-hander? I think it is.
Left-hander.
Left-hander? Okay. Yeah. So that corner will be absolutely amazing to watch in these F1 cars. So. You excited to see that circuit come back on?
Yeah, and I mean I had like a little mixed reaction towards Imola coming back. It was a good track, but it also was one of the worst days in F1 history too. So.
That is a good point. Of course, definitely some unfortunate events have taken place around that circuit, but definitely a historic circuit nonetheless. And
Yeah.
even the Nürburgring, seeing that one come back on the calendar, has been a few years since that venue has hosted a Grand Prix. So
Yeah, that was one of
exciting.
my favorite tracks.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see some of these circuits come back online, and again, modern F1 cars ripping around, it should be fun to watch those. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Even
Yeah.
the Bahrain loop that they just announced this week, for the second race of that doubleheader, I'm excited to see that one as well. It should be super fast, probably comparable to like an Austria. So it should be a fun one to watch there as well. Hopefully.
Somebody did a simulated lap of that. It was like 55 seconds. So I mean, it. I don't know, man.
They're definitely
I kind
doing
of have my doubts about it.
they're doing some things to spice it up anyways. I'd rather see that happen than some of the back-to-back races with the same circuit
Right.
layout that we've seen.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll bring some good racing. That's all I really want to see.
Yeah. I mean, you can see Ferrari getting lapped like 4 or 5 times. So I mean,
Yeah, they have definitely struggled a little bit as Andrew Lee picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's gonna hurt
yep.
him.
Yep. Come around the last corner to going to the front straight. That's where I got a penalty at as well in my race.
Yeah, something that I've noticed with that last corner is it's so finicky whether it's going to give you a penalty or not.
Right.
There was a couple, or whether it's going to give you a warning. There was a couple times in my race that I ran wide through that corner and it didn't give me anything, and I was
Yeah.
I was surely expecting that it was going to give me the run wide. Even we saw it in qualifying with Josh Banks. He was fully off the track through there. He was off on
Right.
the asphalt runoff, and it
Yeah.
didn't invalidate his lap for that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
interesting how the game figures those things, but
It's just finicky.
yeah.
Like one lap you can do that. Second, the next lap it's like he'll give you a time penalty. So
Yeah, it's we'll keep an eye on again the penalties. We've mentioned a couple drivers that have received penalties so far, but see if those come into play here as this race goes on.
yeah.
At the front, though, we still have Faith. He is actually coming into the pits. Well, brilliant timing for that, as is his fellow medium runner, Jonathan Hullabaloo. As they pull into the pits, we'll see what strategy they opt for here. If they're going to try maybe the two-stop, slap on softs. No, they're going to... We have Faith slapping on the hards. We have Jonathan also slapping on the hards,
Yep.
so... An absolutely riveting strategy race here, as every single driver is on the hard compound tire and not really needing, it's not really looking likely that we'll see any more pit stops take place here. So maybe we'll see a safety car or something come out that spices things up a bit. But I mean, China's being China right now. This circuit is not one of the most exciting ones to run on, and showing us that so far today. But still half the race to go here. 14 of 28 laps are complete here around this circuit, and hopefully we'll be able to see some exciting action.
Albert and Aaron and Josh Banks are all kind of together right now, and Kenny just got another penalty.
Oh, so he does. That's definitely not going to run well for him, as a couple of penalties for Mackenzie, with the field as tight as it is, could come back to cost him here at the end of this race.
Yeah, see if Albert if he can get close enough. No, he's not close enough.
No, he's not. It's just stuck in the DRS train. These drivers are. Nobody with nobody really with a ton of ERS until you go down there to P9 with Faith, but nobody really with above 30% ERS running on track except for Izat.
Joker.
Yeah, you're right. Daniel does, but unfortunately he is 11.5 seconds back of P11 right now, so he has some work to do if he wants to get that Haas up into the points. It looks like actually Izat looks to be closing the gap a little bit to Andrew here. This would be for the race lead. It's good to see there, as maybe we'll have a battle for the lead here with the next couple laps, as Mackenzie has retired from the session. He has looped it around, and his McLaren finds it stuck in the fence. Are we going to see a safety car here? A virtual safety car has been deployed. Of course, nobody's able to benefit off this with a pit stop.
I think he might have hit the curb and spun around.
That would do it for sure, as an unfortunate end to this race for Mackenzie. Definitely wasn't the race that he was hoping to have, as don't think we're going to see anybody dive into the pits here, as everybody is going to be able to go to the end.
That's unfortunate for Mackenzie.
Tis, as we are back to green flag racing here, so we do now have only one car retired of the 12 that we started with, so. And Albert and Aaron are resuming their battle right now for the final podium position here. Albert right now just a little bit over half a second back of Aaron, and Josh Banks just creeping there in 5th place as well, maybe buying his time a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's been a fairly uneventful race here. Thought maybe there we might have an opportunity for a safety car and really to change things up strategy-wise amongst some of these drivers. That was not the case, as, oh my goodness, an amazing save there from Albert, as, wow, he had a serious tank stopper. It's going to kill him down the straightaway, though. But he had some he was doing a drift. He was drifting turn 13. And again, it really did cost him down the straightaway, but a nice job of saving that one.
Oh! That spun out.
Oh no, so there goes our battle for the lead, as Izat spun it out of the very low speed turn 14 into that little kink turn 15. He is carrying on, but and as we speak, Albert was able to retake that position from Josh down the DRS straight in the start-finish line.
Albert's in the podium positions now.
That he is. So nice to see Albert having a good run, and they are not that far back of Aaron, who is now assumed P2. And what do we have going on here? I mean, our closest battle is between Josh and Albert. Again, that is for P4. We do have a little bit of a battle going on between Faith on those fresh hards and Sam Rocco, Mr. Sanders, on considerably older hards. So I would imagine that we're going to be able to see Faith get by here, but we'll keep an eye on this battle and see how that plays out.
Yeah, well, he has to be close coming around to DRS straight, because he's a little bit back right now.
Yeah. Someone who's not that far back, though, is Josh, Josh closing down the gap to Albert. That is for P3. He finds himself within a half second of Albert. See how this battle is going to unfold. But in currently in first place and pretty uncontested here. We see Andrew Lee here. He is 5.5 seconds up on P2 in cruise control now that with that mistake that Izat made. So unless if there's a safety car that comes out or a mistake that is made by Andrew, it looks like it is his race to lose here today around China.
Yeah, just turn the engine down, just put in cruise control and pretty much just cruise the last 10 laps.
Yeah, 10 laps to go. Do we, with the drivers being so close, I don't even know who has the fastest lap of the race, but oh, who is that? That was Michael Garone Jr. He almost lost it. He's going to lose positions coming out of this, but he lost it coming out of, I believe, that was turn 10. Going to cost him dearly as he finds himself now down in P9.
Andrew Lee has the fastest lap with a 1:33.8.
So he does. The next closest is Izat with a 1:33.9. I wonder if we might see some of these guys. We might see somebody dive in and slap on a set of softs late in the race, but I mean, there has to be enough gap to make that work, as Faith and Sam are duking it out here for P7. Faith, I believe, was able to get by momentarily, but Sam took that position back. Meanwhile, the battle between Josh and Albert rages on here. Those two are still nose to tail. Josh does have a little bit of an edge in ERS, but still neither of them are boasting a large amount. Take a look at the battle right now again for P6 between Faith and Sam. Again, Faith has 8-lap newer hard tires. See if he is able to capitalize on those and get this position from Sam. Meanwhile, though, down the back straightaway, Josh looks like he might make a move on Albert here. Oh, Albert made a bit of a late move there, but to try and block, but they're still side by side here out of the corner. Oh, they can't go side by side into 16. That won't end well, as Albert retains P3. I don't know if Josh is going to like that late move that Albert made. And he goes down the inside of him going into turn 1 here. Side by side through these corners is tough to do, but I think Josh is going to take that P3 position away from Albert.
That was a nice pass.
Nice move by Josh up into P3. They are 1.5 seconds back of Aaron now. We'll see if they track him down. Andrew just continuing to slowly build on that lead, now up to just over 6 seconds.
If only Williams was actually this good in real life.
Yeah, that would be something to see. Of course, Williams, they have looked a lot better this year. They are at least getting that car through Q1. Oh, man, and Faith lost it. He has spun it around. He was into the barrier.
Oh.
I don't know how he managed to do it, but he somehow managed to escape with no wing damage by the looks of things. Of course, that's going to dearly cost him. He's lost a bunch of positions.
His rear tires are screaming right now as well, too.
Yeah, bit of a race ruiner for him, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, he'll still pick up a point, but I mean, yeah, that spin did ruin his race. He was doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, he was. Oh my goodness! So Jonathan has lost it here in the final corner. Let's just riding on board right. Oh, So he did what Mackenzie did, and there's a virtual safety car.
Yeah.
So unfortunate there.
And Faith goes into the pit lane. He's probably going to put the softs on.
Oh, so he is.
So he's going to try to get the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, I mean, why not? He gets a bit of a free pit stop here. So that means now Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, he's going to...
No, he put the mediums on. He didn't put softs on.
Oh, it's interesting. 7 laps to the end. You could definitely make it to the end here.
Oh, Aaron's got a 3-second time penalty. And Izzat has another 3-second time penalty as well, too.
It's good to see, though, none of these drivers are getting the drive-throughs, at least. That is good to see. It's a bit of a change from last year's game. Is if you're faster than the delta at the end of the virtual safety car, you will get a drive-through penalty. So very important to keep it.
Well, last year's game, you could accelerate the whole time, and then once it goes red, then you slow down, and then once it goes green again, just speed right back up, and then when the safety car ends, you can actually just frickin' floor it, and then it doesn't give you a penalty.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit messed up how they had it running last year, but this year makes a little bit more sense. But I think it did catch some people by surprise, as Aaron is into the pits, so he actually did get a drive-through penalty out of that. That is going to ruin his race. I didn't see that. Unfortunate for him, he comes out of the pits right with Top Gun, Michael, who was battling with Andrew Honda there for position. So he comes out right into the middle of that battle. And now it's a 3-car battle, as Josh Banks and Albert are still battling for P2 as well.
Yeah. And Izzat's back up to P4.
So he is. So Izzat, while he did have a bit of misfortune there, he is now back up into at least the top 4, which I'm sure he won't be thrilled with, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 3 seconds behind Josh. So he's not too far away.
That is true.
Josh went for a look.
Yeah, but was not able to get that move done. As Andrew puts up the fastest lap of the race, 133.7. That is pretty quick on the hard compound.
I guess he turned the wick up on that lap, I guess. Yeah, I would have thought that by Faith going into the pit lane, I thought he would at least put the softs on.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising, as we see Michael come into the pits. So
I'm pretty sure he's gonna put the softs on.
Yeah, I would imagine he's going to try and go for that fastest lap and pick up the extra point.
Yeah.
Yep, the softs are on there. Will he come out in front of his teammate? He will not. But with 5 laps to go, he finds himself... How many seconds is he going to be back of his teammate
Faith
here?
has set the fastest lap.
I mean, on the mediums, fresh mediums are going to be a considerable upgrade from the old hards that we see Andrew running on. So... Not too surprising there. I think Michael is definitely going to be able to get his teammate back here. He's going to be able to go probably a good 4 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds a lap faster than Daniel will on those old hards. So I think he'll be able to make fairly easy work of him. But keep an eye on that, just like we're keeping an eye on our battle here, still raging on for P2. Between Josh and Albert. Almost said Andrew there.
Well, I think if Andrew had a big enough gap, I think he would have dove into the pit lane and put the softs on as well. So.
Yeah, that is true. He does only have a 10-second lead right now, only a 10-second lead over Albert, who's currently running in P2.
Yeah, you would have thought that all the cats behind him, he would have like a bigger lead than that, but
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, especially with the way that these guys have been duking it out, Albert and Josh. You thought maybe he might be able to
Yeah,
jump out a bit more, but I mean, a 10-second lead is or gap is definitely nothing to sneeze at, especially with how
yeah.
close these guys were running through qualifying. So Andrew just in cruise control at the front, but still a battle going on here between Andrew in the Red Bull and Aaron in the Racing Point. That is for P6. But we'll keep an eye here. Is Josh going to have enough? He has 50% ERS right now. So is he going to try and make a run? I think he's going to make a run here at Albert here down this long straightaway. He has the ERS open. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? Or the DRS open, my mistake?
Yeah.
But he's just not close enough. Just can't get a good enough run down the straightaway to get him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he also didn't use the overtake button either, so, I mean...
Oh, that's true, he did. You're right. Saving up some overtake, which he now has a considerable advantage over Albert on.
I think he's going to try to get him on the back straight this lap. If he can get close like he was last time.
Would not surprise me one bit, as Michael Top Gun was able to get past his teammate down the long back straightaway. Is this going to be the fastest lap of the race that we're seeing being run here for Michael? He crosses the finish line, and he does 1:33.079 for fastest lap of the race.
That'll be an extra point for him.
Yeah, currently with the extra. Yeah, if he can hold it. The only driver who you could see, but no, he's not going to come in. He's in a battle right now for P6. That would be Aaron. He and Andrew are locked in a battle. Of course, Aaron did have that drive-through penalty that he had to serve, so that has set him back considerably. Izzat has had a nice recovery drive here to get back up into P4.
Joker just got a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, he did. As long as he can maintain that gap to Faith, I think he'll be okay. Just a couple of laps left to go here in China, as we still have this battle that's been raging on for most of this race here between Josh Banks and Albert Ramirez Garcia. See how this ends up for the two drivers. As Josh does have a considerable ERS advantage on Albert. But really going down the field, not else much is going on here today. Aaron's maintaining just under a second gap to Andrew. That's for P6, but I think the only real good battle that we might have here to end this race might be between Josh and Albert. So we'll keep our eyes locked here. Josh is going to make a move down the inside, going to turn 14 here. Is he going to be able to get him this time? Albert getting a nice run out of the corner, but Josh is going to be able to hold that position at least temporarily. Oh. They're going to go side by side. No, they're not. Albert thinks better of it. As they race down the front straightaway now, there is 2 laps to go left in this race, with Andrew Lee about 10 seconds ahead of these two in front. Just has stuck it in cruise control. As will Albert be able to battle back here in the final couple of laps? They're pretty even on ERS right now, but and also, don't look now, but Izzat might, he's creeping into this picture. He is just 1.3 seconds back of these two. If he can get to them and potentially for the DRS run, as Daniel Hernandez is into the pits. He might try and make a last run lap for fastest lap of this race. As I imagine he's going to slap on the softs, which he does.
Yeah, with the battle in between Josh and Albert, it brought Izzet back into the fold again.
Yeah, and we'll see. I don't know what the penalty situation is like for these guys, if any of them have penalties, but if it does, it'll surely dictate the finishing order between the three.
Yeah, I think Izzet has like 2 or 3, I think.
Oh, okay. That's definitely not ideal. But as we are on the final lap of this race, Andrew Lee just, he's in cruise control at the front. He has had nothing else to do. Not really. He's had a bit of a battle. He had a bit of a battle with Izzet early in this race. But when Izzet made the mistake, Andrew he hasn't put a foot wrong here today. And looks like it's going to be a pretty dominant victory here for him around this, for this Chinese Grand Prix. The battle, though, for P2 still rages on here. ERS is pretty even between the two. The two being, of course, Josh Banks and Albert Ramirez Garcia. See if there's going to be any swapping of positions that goes on this final lap. But we are going to bring it back to our leader here. Andrew Lee is heading down that long back straightaway for the final time. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is the racing point of Aaron that is around. The race continues on, though, and it doesn't look like we're going to see any other position swaps, I don't think. Andrew Lee coming around the final corner, and is he out of gas? Andrew?
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Is he out of gas? It looked like that Williams was going very, very slow. I think he might have been. Andrew Lee does cross the finish line, though, and he will win barely by 1.3 seconds after the penalty was applied. I think he must have ran out of gas. He does win the Chinese Grand Prix, so wow, some drama there right at the end of the race. Josh Banks comes home P2. Albert Ramirez Garcia comes home P3.
I think he is out of gas.
Yeah. Izzet rebounds from his spin for P4. Sam Rocco, Mr. Sanders, comes home P5. Honda, that is Andrew, he comes home at P6. Aaron retired from the session. Don't know where that happened.
Aaron crashed on the straightaway.
Oh. I wonder if that couldn't have been intentional. He was on for some points. So Michael Garone Jr. will come home P7. Faith is going to come home P8. Will Daniel be able to take P9? He does take P9. So, wow. Aaron must have crashed right at the finish line, but interesting there.
He didn't even make it to the finish line.
Yeah, he must have come up just short.
He must have hit that curb on the final turn, and
that's certainly an unfortunate way to end your race.
Yeah.
Come up meters short of the finish line, as Faith did pick up driver of the day. As we will just get the final standings here. So Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, did get fastest lap of the race, and the extra point that goes along with that, a 131.6 for him. So we are going to get the top 3 here into the chat. Are you able to invite them, Mike, or do you want me to?
I don't. The only one I have is Andrew.
Okay, if you want to invite Andrew, I'll get Josh and Albert in here. But a bit of a boring Chinese Grand Prix for us here today, but almost very, very exciting at the end. I'm sure that's not really the way that Andrew might have wanted to see that come down right at the end, but regardless, we was able to hold on for the victory. Now, just looking for Albert here. Hopefully we'll be able to get the 3 drivers in. See if we can get them in. Yes. So I guess we will start then today. Andrew, you can hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, that was quite the finish there. Must have been a little bit anxious there in the car. We thought, oh, well, he's letting up a little bit, but I guess walk us through your qualifying, the battle that you were having in the race with Izzat, and then ultimately what happened on the final lap there.
Yeah, it was pretty good all around. Qualifying went really well. The car was hooked up a lot nicer than what it was 7 days ago when I was here doing another race. So yeah, made everything a little bit easier. The first 2 qualifying laps were pretty good, but they weren't perfect. The final one was probably as best as I really could have gone. I don't think I really could have gone any faster, so yeah, that was enough to get me pole. Not by much though. Yeah, then the start of the race. The launch was good, wasn't quite good enough. Had to run all the way around the outside of turn 1, which isn't really something I wanted to do, but yeah, we left each other enough room to get through there, which was all good. And yeah, for the first, first half of that race, basically, yeah, just a cracker of a fight with the Alfa Romeo there. Shame he had that mistake there. Otherwise, I reckon we would have been battling right to the end, because I honestly couldn't get out of his DRS. I could get it back up to about 9/10, and then somehow he just randomly bring it back down by like 3/10 in one corner alone. So yeah, he was bloody quick today. Like I said, when I messaged him there a minute ago, just you know, commiserations to him. He definitely at least deserved P2 today. So yeah, definitely looks like he might be a regular contender for podiums now, which is good. Always nice to see some new guys come up and show what they're made of. But suppose I should probably talk about the end, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that was very very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what went on there, to be honest, because the last couple of races I've made it to the end on tyres that are like 85 to 90%, but that left front was only like 75. So yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. I never got a warning. Just literally as I got to the apex, the tyre just blew out. So yeah, I'm not too sure why exactly, but. Yeah, like I said, the luck ran out in terms of making it to the end on all 4 tyres, but yeah, luckily I had enough of a gap that I could just about make it to the end ahead of Josh, I think it was. So yeah, that was a cool finish, but I'm not massively interested in doing that again. So hopefully that's just a one-off.
Funny enough, our co-commentator Mike, you had the same thing happen in your race too, didn't you?
Yep, final lap. Left front blew out.
Yeah, right. Must have been.
So I guess with the recent Formula One update, they just decided to make every last lap of the race like Lewis Hamilton's last lap, and
pretty much.
They've added that feature in. So congratulations, though, great race, and glad to see that blown tire at the end didn't end up costing you.
Yeah, we thought you ran out. We actually thought you ran out of fuel. That's what we thought that happened.
That almost happened, don't get me wrong. I crossed the line with 0.02 left. I was running in rich after I got that flat tyre.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, but a great race, and congratulations again.
Cheers, man.
All right, so moving on to our P2 finisher is Josh Banks in the McLaren. So Josh, you had a pretty solid run here today. Didn't really put much of a foot wrong in the race, and you come away with P2. You must be pretty happy with that outcome.
Yeah, very happy with the outcome. I think I was battling Aaron and Albert for basically the whole race. I think Aaron, did he get a drive through or something?
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah, so yeah, basically just battling Albert for the last 10 or so laps to the line for P2. I knew he didn't have any penalties, so it would have been a wheel-to-wheel battle to the end, and yeah, luckily I got him on the couple laps to go, so yeah, it was a good battle with Albert, and yeah, hopefully we can have some more battles next week.
Yeah, it was a fun battle to watch. I guess it kind of highlighted the struggles that you guys were having getting past one another on that long straight, eh?
Yeah, the dirty air through the middle sector was very bad, so it was kind of hard to get close to him or get close to anyone going down that back straight. So yeah, I think you had to be within around 5 or 6 tenths to even try and make a move down into the braking zone. So yeah, luckily I got to do that, and yeah.
I guess one of the things I'll ask you is we talked about it a little bit with Andrew. Were you aware on through those final couple corners that Andrew was dropping back so much, or is that kind of a surprise when you crossed the line to see that you were that close?
No, I had no idea that Andrew had a problem. I was just too focused on Albert because I knew he was gonna try and make a move down the back straight on me. So yeah, was just fully focused on getting P2. I wasn't really aware of Andrew. And then I come across the line and I said 1.3 seconds behind. I was like, oh, how many penalties did he have or something? But yeah, my qualifying was a bit of a disappointing, I must say.
Yeah, a little bit, but you certainly made up for it in the race, and you come home with some good points today. So congratulations on your P2, and maybe we'll be talking to you as we head to the Netherlands next week.
Hopefully, hopefully I'll be on the top step.
Yeah. Alrighty, and then finally to wrap up here, we have Albert also in the chat here. Albert, can you hear me?
Yes.
Alrighty, so it was a strong run from you today here as well. You ran in the top 3, I believe, for most of the race. Took advantage of when some of the drivers in front of you might have put a bit of a foot wrong. So you had a great run out there today and brought it home in P3. Do you want to walk us through your race and the great battles that took place with Josh?
Yeah, well, before I start, congratulations to Andrew for again another win, and then to Josh with a great battle. And I mean, he got me in the final laps, but yeah, I mean, Aaron got a rocket start due to the bad hacks, and I was behind him for the entire race, and it was really difficult because I was running a setup with more downforce rather than less downforce, so I was pretty quick between the first and third sector, but then on the straight I was really slow, so I was using all my overtake button to avoid just to overtake me. But then, I mean, Aaron got a straight through penalty, and then I was in the middle of nowhere with low ERS, and I couldn't do anything. I tried to stay behind Josh in the final lap and see if I could have a chance to overtake him, but I mean, he was pretty quick on the straight, and yeah, congratulations, as I said before, again to Josh for a great battle, and see if we can have it for the next races.
Yeah, definitely some good battles. It was, I mean, China doesn't produce some of the best battles, but you guys definitely had a great battle going on there this race, and congratulations on your podium finish.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so Mike, do you have anything to add there, or are we going to wrap it up?
No, we can just wrap it up, man.
Sounds good. So I mean, it was a pretty solid race here from China. Maybe not all the overtaking opportunities that we would have liked to see, but we can cross China off the list now. And next week we are heading to an exciting new circuit in the Netherlands. So look forward to that. Of course, the regionals will be running that starting for the Oceania series in about I don't even know how many hours time, maybe about 12 hours or so time. Later on Sunday for for them. Of course, the US regionals and the European regionals will also run that throughout the week. So make sure that you tune into the Transnation Esports YouTube channel for that. But on behalf of Mike and myself, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.